Hello everybody and welcome to Immortal Afro Gaming. I of course am your host, Immortal Afro Josh, and got a video idea that I think I want to talk about. And I'm using this stream to kind of, have some conversation with a few of my friends of mine about the topic. Because I think it's definitely a doozy since Resident Evil 4, whoops. Since Resident Evil 4 Remake has been announced. Let's see if Streamlabs can find my video game. Streamlabs. And there it is. That one's good. Yes, yes, and yes. I don't think this game has borderless windows, so give me a second. Memphis Legends, what's up, man? Tekken? Nah, no Tekken tonight, man. We're having some conversations about this new Resident Evil they done dropped. If you want to get some games in tomorrow, we can. I haven't played in a while, though. I'm rusty and all types of shit. I'm not gonna load my old save because I didn't really do nothing. Gonna start a new game. Have a new character to test. Yeah, I saw you've been playing with Fakamaram. You went ahead and left Josie behind for a real Muay Thai fighter. I'm pretty sure you didn't drop Josie. Josie is you put too much time and love and care into her. I doubt you just drop her by the wayside like that. But yeah, he's pretty fun. It's away with a lot of shit.
Evil 4.
We planning plans for offline. I'd prefer offline.
1998. I'll never forget it.
Turn this game down a little.
It was the year when those grisly murders occurred in the Arklay Mountains. Soon after, the news was out to the whole world, revealing that it was the fault of a secret viral experiment conducted by the international pharmaceutical enterprise.
Yeah, I know you didn't leave her. But yeah, man, you wanted
virus broke out in a nearby mountain.
Want to plan for some offline matches because I prefer offline
little
over online any day.
A devastating blow crippling.
Unless Fak passes her, right? Very likely, because Fakamaram get away with a lot of shit.
The President of the United States ordered a contingency.
Pretty sure you're gonna have an easier time in rank with him than you were, or than you are with Josie.
With the whole affair gone public, the United States government issued an indefinite suspension of business decree to Umbrella. Soon it stopped.
You get away with a lot of shenanigans with Fakamaram, especially those fully charged moves that are unblockable at the wall. There's a lot of folks off guard with that shit. Oh.
6 years have passed since that horrendous incident.
You and the lady always welcome. Oh yeah, let's plan for it, man. Set up a day we can swing through and get some games going. Doing here
special training via a secret organization working under the direct control of the president.
Oh yeah, man.
I was to assume the responsibility of protecting the new president's family.
Yeah. Let me turn this game audio down. I can barely hear you.
Who are you really?
Hey, your audio's fine, but you change it on my end.
You are a long way from home, cowboy.
If that's possible.
Guess that's a local's way of breaking the ice. Anyway, you know what this is all about.
Know what this is
My
all
assignment
about.
is to search for the president's missing daughter.
What? All by yourself?
I'm sure you boys didn't just tag along so we could see at some Boy Scout bonfire. Then again, maybe you did.
Oh, you crazy American. It's a direct order from the chief himself. I tell you, it's no picnic.
I'm counting on you guys.
There it is. Okay. Say something, Tevin?
Hello, hello, hello.
It was
Okay.
right before I was to take on my duties
I
of
think
protecting the president's daughter when she was abducted.
Oh, you disapprove with Street Fighter 6? Oh man, you didn't know. You don't know.
According to our intelligence,
It's Looks like it's made for fucking children, man.
Very similar to
You see those images of easy mode?
unidentified group of people.
Yeah.
Typically,
Who would have
Yeah.
thought that my
yeah.
My bad. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you can speak on it too. Because my thing is like when they go that hard for fucking accessibility, that's the game. So, hello for me. I heard hello. Can you can you hear Tevin?
Imagination.
Um.
Sorry it took so long.
I think you should
Yeah.
be able to hear you now. But yeah, dude, like I don't know for sure. You know, don't quote me on it. But I get the feeling that a game that goes that hard for like noobs or accessibility, that's what they like to say, is more than likely the game is going to be like really, you know, reflective of that. See a Guilty Gear situation, yeah, and you know, and that's just the way games are now, fighting games.
Where is the village?
So yeah, dude, I think that game is going to be fucking
Look around.
Street Fighter
Well,
Five.
Stay and watch that
I feel like
door.
hold on. I feel like there's like a
To get any
understatement that's not being said
Hard
that
Well,
that it's like we both kind of understand and we assume everybody else understands it, so we're not saying it. But it's games that cater to esports that get simplified. And this
Yeah,
game is clearly an esports fucking game. And if your game is
exactly.
catered towards
loud and
esports,
clear.
then it's going
Somehow
to
I
go
thought
in this
you'd be a little
direction
older.
because esports
Saw the subject's name's
requires
Ashley Graham, right?
money. It needs it needs donations. And who is a better people to donate to the
Whoever this
pot
group is, they
than
sure picked the wrong girl to
unskilled
kidnap.
people? You know, so you need like casuals and they need to be invested.
Good.
You
Talk
know,
to you
you have to
later.
get
Be on
casuals
it.
invested into esports, even though they're never going to win the tournament, even though they're never going to even place or even get that far. But if they're invested in the community and they're invested, then they're going to pay. They're going to pay. So it's like that's the whole strategy behind it. So they're going to water down the game for them because they don't give a fuck about someone like you, Memphis Legends, because like um when it comes to let's say Dead or Alive, that's your game. You're always going to buy Dead or Alive, no matter what, right? Because you like the game, you have spent a ton of time getting good at this game, and it's a part of your identity, just like any competitive player for any game, right? So they don't care about you anymore, you see.
Yeah, you're
you're
gonna
going
buy.
you're going to buy it, and like unless like you can contribute to bringing casuals in. So let's say you become like bigger and you become like a commentator, and they're like, oh, I love Memphis when he gets on the mic. Oh
You know,
yeah, then
tasty Steve situation.
yeah, like you become something like that, then all of a sudden, then yeah, like then you can get in on bringing your audience that you bring in into that. You know, that's why uh, the people who have the most power, not the most power, the people who have a lot of power over the influence of these fighting games are not the competitors who are the strongest, but it is the personalities associated with the FGC that have an audience because the game designers want to also leverage that audience. But that audience is a fan of insert fighting game personality
Yeah,
here.
like the
So,
TLDR, it's that's who they're for. They're focused on
yeah, the game
casual
is not
crowd.
for you anymore.
Yeah, it's for these and that's why those images I shared on Facebook, like yeah, like those telltale signs. It's like simplified, just like with Dead or Alive 6. It's like okay, you know this game is already easy as fuck to play and get into, but here's a button mash mode, and now you got Street Fighter 6 or simplified simple Fighter 6. So they got hold direction, press button, special move. I'm like, look, dude, if you can't even be bothered to learn how to do a fucking 3 input command move, like what kind of game were y'all expecting? Like that's my thing. Like that's why for me it's funny. Now, yeah, I could be wrong. I don't think I am. But I could be wrong. The game could come out and we could be like a technical marvel, and I could be like, ah, fuck. Well, still not gonna play it because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be ass or cheeks. Because Resident Evil, not Resident Evil, but Street Fighter 4, I think that was the balance for like casual and veterans, and it's been going in one direction ever since. So whatever. It's Resident Evil time. But yeah, dude. If y'all play, y'all yeah, play it for me. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've never really been a big, like competitive Street Fighter player or anything like that. Um,
I
I
was
mean, I
wondering if
obviously
you might
played
recognize the girl
other
in this
games.
photograph.
I played other games like that. So like I have some empathy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just kind of the way I see it is like if it goes on sale and the game and the girls look attractive and
I
this
will
game
say
looks
that.
kind of cool and all that, I'll probably get it like 2 years from now. But it's like, but like, there's a lot of even that. Like, I'm a casual, so like the argument I'm making to you right now is one of a guy who's a casual. I don't care about any of that shit, right? All the mechanics or anything of that shit, because I already know that ship has sailed
Yeah.
for me, right? But it's like even that is threatened because like like a lot of stuff I say is going to be viewed
There
pessimistically,
was a hostile
and
local. I had no
fine,
choice but to
like if
neutralize
it's
him.
wrong,
There are
that's
still others
amazing.
surrounding the
I
area.
hope I am wrong,
Get out
but
of there and head toward the village. Take whatever
based
measures
on
necessary to
Capcom's
save the subject.
what's the
Understood.
best way I can put it, behavior over the span of Street Fighter 5, it tells me, it kind of reveals to me what their behavior is going to be like in the future. Um, and to me, what it says is that they don't like mods.
Oh yeah, because wasn't there like an issue with Street Fighter 5 where
They've always tried to do everything they could to ban mods, but they just couldn't do it. The
yeah
only way that you can ban, like, make sure that like mods, in terms of like character mods, when I say mods, I specifically mean character alteration mod, like costume mods, stuff like that. This is what I mean by mods, for the
yeah
most part. They don't like that. But there's nothing they can really do about it with the way Street Fighter 5 is built.
yeah.
I think
So
that what
you
they're
have
going
a
to do,
suspicion that Street Fighter 6 is gonna be even more difficult.
well, I think it's going to be impossible
Hmm.
because I think what they're going to do, I think like this is the logic of how they're going to do it. I think what they're going to do is they're going to say, hey, look, like you're not even going to see it coming because if you don't think about it in the right way, because they're going to come at you from the opposite end of it. What they're going to say is it's like, hey, look, on PC, the game has anti cheat uh measures so that people can't uh like um so people can't cheat online, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
because I
so
think they
people
said
can't.
it's multiplayer. It's gonna be on everything. This
Yeah, yeah. But like just let's just talk about PC for a second. Like just talking about the PC one. But I think it's gonna be on across all of them, right? But like just talking about the PC one because we're talking about mods, they're going to the way they're going to tell you is that, oh man, like we're implementing this new system of anti-cheat. So where people, if they try to get online and they try to imply something like, cheat in some way by changing the files or doing something, they're gonna get banned. And it's like, oh, that's really cool. Like Battle Eye and in Valorant or stuff like that. That's
yeah.
exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be like other anti-cheat measures in other games. But the way that they do that is by making the game always online. Like you
Oh yeah.
cannot play the game unless you have an internet connection.
Oh well, that sucks. I can definitely see that happening.
Now it's
Uh,
not, and then like what one thing that people will say is that, Well, Street Fighter 5 is like that. It's not actually like that. You can unplug your Ethernet cable and play the game offline. Like you have to do that though, which is annoying, right? But the fact that they went for, because like when Street Fighter 5 first came out, it was like you have to they encourage you to connect to the internet, but you
Yeah,
could
with
just
the
select.
that's how you get the points and stuff. Because that was the first thing people were complaining about.
Right, but you could actually select back then to just be offline. But if you have your Ethernet connect, like if you have your internet connected in Street Fighter 5, they won't even let you do it. It's like they won't let you actually just appear offline. And every time you do that, they re-download a patch. But it's like because you can actually just unplug your Ethernet cable and because like the way they built the game, there's still an offline version of the game, they can't actually stop you, right? But if they simply don't do that, if the game was built from the ground up like Overwatch or like Valorant or like any other of these other games, right? Where it was you get online so that you can play the game, then that's a wrap. You can't mod it
Yeah.
because and it's like people can't wrap their head around that part. They'll say, "Well, I mean, like you can go in the files and change it." It's like, yes, but the minute you go online, the game is going to
Yeah.
say these files don't match up with what the game is, and it's going to make you re-download the game, or it's going to download a patch, which is going to be the game again.
Yeah.
It's going to fix the files. It's going to repair the files. And so, how do you get around that? What you do is normally you'll just go offline. But if you cannot go offline, that's it.
Mhm.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not saying that that's exactly what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do,
But it's
but I
very
wouldn't be
likely.
surprised. Yeah, I think it's likely because they don't like mods.
Leon,
That would
how
be
you
the way
holding up?
that they would stop
Bad question,
mods.
Hunnigan.
And if they were
Sorry
to
to hear
go
that.
about it
I'm sending you a
just like
playing
that,
manual.
people would be mad. But if they disguise it as anti-cheat, people are going to say, "Well, yeah, I don't want people cheating online."
Mhm.
That's awful. That's why PC playing online on PC sucks. So yeah, I don't want people cheating, making Ryu tiny or like making
Unlocking
like
boss
fireballs invisible.
characters that we
Yeah,
can't
like
play with.
yeah, I hate all of that. So yeah, anti-cheat. Why wouldn't you want anti-cheat? Blah 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 blah, right? So it's gonna get past like that, but you're not gonna be able to use mods. So So we'll see. Like, so I guess what I'm trying to say is even as a casual, well, I don't give a fuck about the game mechanics or any of that shit anymore. In fact, I'm more likely to find the people who give a fuck and spam them with the easy Hadokens and shit just to laugh at them for still caring. But but it's like nerfed, you know, like character designs, like if everything else is whack about the game, like the other stuff I care about, like the characters looking nice or like all that stuff too, and then I can't even mod the stuff that I don't like, then it's like, then there's no reason why I would even think about. There's no reason for me to get it either. I
Yeah.
would have to be an FGC guy to care about it. Um, and people will say, well, you won't be able to mod, Resident Evil. It's like, well, of course you're going to.
Yeah, it's like a single player game. They
Right.
don't
They
they
don't
don't
have a reason to have it online. Like if they were to try and do that, it's only going to result in bad publicity. So
yeah.
they're not going to do it. You know, like they would have tried to do it earlier when they thought they could sneak it under people's noses, but they know they won't be able to get away with that. So they're not going to do that. At best, they're just going to add de nouveau, like,
Yeah. For
an
the
engine
first
tampering,
week or
you
month
know,
and then take it
yeah,
off again.
and take it off, but you'll still be able to mod the game. So it's like that's not like just because you can mod Resident Evil, and just because the engine that the Street Fighter 4 is being made in is the RE engine, that doesn't matter. Like you're missing the point. The game can still be made in a way. It's like yes, the engine dictates how the game look, like the basic graphical, like how it looks, the what it's built to do, all that. But it's like they built the engine. It's proprietary. They can alter it for this game and not for this game. They can say, well, for this game we made it like this, and for this game we made it like that. Like, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like it's kind of like you have to get out of this like rigid way of thinking. You have to understand like they're developers. They have the power to kind of go and do as they please within, some reason. But whatever. A lot of that does sound like doom and gloom or whatever. And if you don't care about any of all the shit I just said, then, it wouldn't really matter to you anyway. You'd be like, okay, who gives a fuck? Like, I don't care about any of the shit he just said. All I want to do is
Spam hot
lick.
opens.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
want to
rise
go.
up. I want to rise up.
Yeah, I wanna play this game. It looks cool. I wanna go to tournaments and I wanna compete. It's like, well, if that's all you wanna do for the span of the game's lifetime, then okay, cool. Like, you know. But me personally, I'm not so invested in the FGC like that. That's appealing to me. At least not for Street Fighter or any game now, but like even in the past, I was not really like that for Street Fighter. It would have probably taken Soul Calibur or something maybe, but no, I don't even think so for that. I think if they would have fucked with like the character design or something like that in a way I didn't like, I probably wouldn't be down for those games too much either.
Yeah.
But
Ultimately, it doesn't really matter. My own little gimmick is that I think it's going to be oversimplified trash. And, yeah, that's it.
yeah, I
Just
mean,
like the last game.
yeah, I think like my personal take on Street Fighter 6, because I was like watching what do you call it? Like, I was watching a pun stream, and we were like going over the website and what was in it and all that. Personally, I mean, it's hard to necessarily say exactly how the game is going to be, but I feel like the game is going to be
Predictable.
it's like it's not going to be that much different from like Strive or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's how I think it's going to end up being. It's going to be a more simplified game, um, where it's basic,
Oh,
and
hold
if
on.
there's going to,
So,
yeah,
so that Project L game is our only hope. I don't even know what that is. Is that League of
honestly,
Legends fighting game?
Project L, no, well, my opinion on Project L is no, actually. I think that Project L is going to be it's going to do all the shit I just said, but better. Like Street Fighter 6 is probably going to do it in a jank way, but Project L is going to do it in such a complete manner that you can't even think about doing it.
Where's everyone going?
And and even the idea when someone even says, "Man, I wish I could mod a Kali," people are going to laugh at you for even having the
Is
idea.
but is that the League fighting game?
Yeah, yeah, it's the League fighting
Okay, because
game.
I was like, I don't even know what the fuck is
Oh
Project
yeah,
L.
yeah. Project L is the League fighting game. No,
uh,
that game, that
Leon
game
needs to
for
get out of
sure
there.
is going
Look
to
for a
it's
tower and follow the
it's
trail
heavy
underneath.
esports. Like people need to be able to see when a
I,
game is
I don't I
like
don't think I
esports.
don't think people are gonna tell what esports is, man. Like when you say esports, like of course, like when we use the word esports, it's in a negative tone because we understand that esports
Well,
equals bad. But for like most people, like when
well,
they hear esports, it's like, well, what's what's wrong with esports, man?
well. Hold on. It's like yes, you're right. Like me and you, we don't like esports, right? But when I just say esports, you're right. Maybe certain people don't understand what I think. They may when I say esports, they may just think competitive fighting games. That's not what I mean. When I say esports, I guess what I'm trying to say is corporate competition. Maybe that's a better, more descriptive
Yeah,
way of
corporate
saying it.
fighter six.
It's corporate competition. Everything, anything that can be anything that potentially can that will damage the
Yeah.
integrity of a corporation associated with the competition that is supplying money to it will be sanitized.
Majority of the world don't even understand FGC. Well, in my opinion,
Well, we're not talking about the
FGC.
majority of the world. I like me personally, I don't care about what the majority of the world. I'm just talking about like the people who care, like who like fighting games in general. The people who buy fighting games. Let's just say that, right? Like like maybe even them, even let's say even the majority of them don't understand esports. Okay, but I do think enough of them at least have an inkling idea. If you were to say, like at least back in 2012 they did. Like you like there's a
So, yeah, because like it's all been sanitized now. Because like esports now is, I guess, I think esports is like the de facto FGC. Whereas back in the day, FGC was literally it was so much of its own thing. You know,
yeah,
it was largely left alone. You know, that's why I don't care for the FGC or
yeah,
any
yeah,
game
yeah.
that releases under its banner, because it's like, not I keep saying Resident Evil, but Street Fighter. It's like, look at Street Fighter. It's like, oh, it couldn't be more esports. It's squeaky clean. It's not. It
It's
doesn't.
it's like safe. That's
Yeah,
what it
this
is. It's
is.
very safe. Like, it's funny, like
If you do or say the wrong thing, you'll be dealt with accordingly, and you can't do
right,
that here because
right.
that's rude or whatever.
Yeah, there's no yeah, like it's funny, like there was a video like 10 years ago, almost exactly, where this was on Cross Counter where Gutex and Mike Ross were talking. And
I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, but I want to say it anyway. I want
Yeah.
to, but um, essentially, Gutex and Mike Ross was talking. Gutex was like, I want to ask you a question, Mike. How do you feel about the idea of the FGC and esports, like FGC cross esports? And he was like, it's funny that you even have to say it like that. The fact that you're able to acknowledge that the FGC and esports are two separate things. These things are separate. They're different. They're not the same. And he's like, you cannot. He's like, he was like, essentially, the FGC is like, um, he said the FGC is like Fight Club. It's like you go underground and you have a bunch of dudes fighting and it's real and there's blood and someone gets $20. We're fighting over $20,
Yeah,
and it's
and
and
there's a
it's
lot
and
of
it
shit,
yeah,
insults
there's like
getting
shit on the
thrown.
line. It's
Yeah,
like the people are there. It's like it feels real. It's gritty. It's like unpredictable. It's dangerous. He's like the esports is the exact opposite of that. It's like championship boxing after it's been bought. You know exactly what's going to happen. It's predictable, and there's a million rules, and it's very clean, and the fighters can't say anything before or after. That's too spicy. It's like he's like, and I don't really think you can have one without the other. I think you either have to be all in on this or all in on that. You can't really have both. And Gutex was like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like you can actually get both, man. I feel like you can actually have both. And he was like, man, no. He's like, because the way that the FGC is made up, you would have to destroy it in order to get esports, and vice versa. You cannot have. He's like, you can't have Coca-Cola wanting to sponsor the shit that goes on. It's like in FGC, it just will never happen, right? And he was like, well, Gutek, well, he said, well, Mike, whether you like it or not, it's going to move in that direction of esports. He's like, I'm not saying that isn't going to move in that direction. I'm just telling you that you're going to lose the FGC in the process. It's like what we call the FGC, that's going to be gone. It's like,
and
and it's
replaced
funny
with
how like
yeah,
they both now agree with that statement. Probably Gutex more than Mike Ross now.
yeah, because he's he's been
Yeah, he's
you
persona
know
non grata, right? He got killed by exactly what Mike Ross said he would have gotten killed by. It's very funny when you think about it. You're like, wow, I guess you weren't squeaky clean enough. You
No,
got you got
they
you
they
got
even
deleted from everywhere.
they even took your fucking Pog champ
Yep,
icon off of Twitch.
yep.
Yeah,
You should have just fell in line with that with esports,
oh,
right? If you don't think that that doesn't apply, if you don't think that the people who have the power and influence to make him persona non grata don't have the same amount of power and influence in the decision making in these video games, you're crazy. Because you're like, well, they're not there developing the game. It's like, yes, but the people who develop the game are human beings. They feel fear, and all of that. And when they talk to these people, because these people have influence, they have fans in the hundreds, hundreds of thousands, and it's like they know that these fans are influenced by these personalities. So if these guys say, "Hey, I think Street Fighter 6 fucking sucks," and not only does it suck, um,
Arbica's ass is too big.
yeah, or something like it doesn't matter. Like they could, like whatever they say, it doesn't matter. They could just if they say that this game sucks and you shouldn't play it, even if 50% of their audience says I agree, that's that's a giant number already. And it's funny, it's like people, the shit I'm saying right now, people will not believe it. They won't believe it because they cannot see it right in front of their eyes. But one thing that the only piece of like evidence or whatever that I can point people to where you can kind of get some insight on this is the Capcom leaks that happened like 2 years ago, where there was a hacker group that hacked into the servers of Capcom and downloaded like their entire database and encrypted it from them and told them to pay a ransom for it, or they would release all the information on the internet. Now, of course, Capcom didn't pay the ransom, right, for the encryption key. So they released all that information on the internet. So a bunch of stuff got leaked, like Resident Evil 8, like RE4 Remake, a bunch of
Yeah,
things that we now know that have already released now, But it was like we knew a bunch of stuff. But what was also in there wasn't just like juicy stuff like ooh like video games that we want to see or whatever. It was how they do business. It was how they um view streamers. Everything was there. So one of the things that it revealed was their business strategy towards um, personalities that have audiences, influencers, essentially. And one of the lessons that they learned was that the the assumption that they had in the beginning was we should give our game to the biggest influencer because if we give it to the biggest influencer, we can stay in the game the most. And it's like a fine way of thinking when you just don't think about it very much, right? Because you just think, okay, well, this guy's the biggest, right? He has the most biggest audience. I'm going to give it to him instead of giving it to the small guy. The problem is that that's his audience and it's not yours. So if you give it to Eris, let's say, who has a pretty big audience, right? And Eris says, this game sucked and I wouldn't play it
yeah, Legends.
even.
Well, a lot of the shit he's talking about, like nobody pay attention to. We already know about it. We talked about this shit when it happened. Like I remember the leak
Yeah.
when it first occurred. There was stuff in there about how they were trying to like, yeah, we're looking at. Didn't they say it was what's that Naughty Dog game? Fucking
You talking about The Last of Us?
yeah, they said they were referencing The Last of Us for like how
Oh,
certain females
yeah,
should
yeah,
be.
yeah, yeah. That's what they're like, equity and
Yeah,
training and all that type of stuff.
the
Yeah,
Resident
but
Evil 3 remake changing the
yes, yes,
designs for
yeah,
the characters so that they're
yeah,
more
yeah,
globally appealing.
yes, yes.
All that
There's
shit.
somebody appealing to the global market and all that stuff. But like that's important too. But like let me just get to the point. The point I was trying to get to was that what they learned was that it's actually more dangerous to deal with really, really giant people because they have a giant fan base. And if they're they're not beholden to they're not beholden to Capcom. They don't actually need to play your game early, whatever, right? They don't feel like they don't care if they end up being able to play Street Fighter 6 early. I mean, it's kind of cool, but they're making millions of bucks. If they don't get it, whatever. But you need them because they have a giant audience, right? And so you need to reach them. And they realize they're in the weak position when they go to someone like Max, when they go to someone like Eris, because they have so much money and power on their own that they could just tell Capcom to go fuck themselves. And that means that they can say whatever they want. So that means if they get Street Fighter 6 and they don't like it, they could just say they don't like it. Okay, Capcom blacklist them. Capcom's really going to blacklist them? They need they realize their audience is tied to Max. And they're more loyal to Max than they are Street Fighter. So they're like, holy shit. We actually got to play by their rules. You know, that's what they learned. That's what they realized. So they said it's better to find someone that's small enough, like big enough to where we can gain, but small enough that that us giving them something is they want it. They like we're in a powerful position, you know? Like
Yeah.
they don't want to lose access to us. You know, because Ares doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't need them. Max doesn't necessarily give a fuck. I mean, he would like to have a, you know, good relationship. But if the game sucks, he's gonna say it sucks. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't need to capitulate to them. He doesn't need to try and make them happy. You know, he doesn't need to like walk on eggshells because he's so powerful on his own. He doesn't need that. So like you have to understand all that matters. Like imagine, I guess the best way I can put it is that imagine if you were making something. You're making, I don't know, a video game, a fighting game, let's just say, right? And like you're trying to build your fan base up, and let's say you even have a fan base of, let's say hypothetically, 100,000 people, okay? And let's say there's a personality associated with your fan base, and let's just say that his fan base is comprised of
What's up, Luke?
40%,
Welcome to the
40%
stream.
let's say like his fan base is comprised of 40% of your fan base. And he says, I hate your game. It sucks. Even if half of the people that is his fan base agrees, you just lost 20% right there. You went from 100,000 to 80,000 that fast. It's like that's
state of games.
yeah, that's the thing. That is the power that influencers have. And it's like people don't really recognize that. You know, they don't recognize that. And influencers aren't going to tell you they have that much power. It's not in their interest to say that. They're not going to go around saying that, you know.
What's
So
up,
it's
Drew?
like,
Welcome to the stream, man. Playing Resident Evil and talking about how the FGC sucks because
well,
you know, new Street Fighter 6 is coming out, and you know.
yeah, I'm just trying to like put things in perspective for people. It's like I don't like, you know, I feel like a lot of times it sounds like when, you know, when you say something like, oh, this sucks, or oh, this or that or whatever, that you're just being negative. And it's kind of like, well, it really just depends on what you want. Like if you're looking for this, maybe it's the way the direction is going, it's not so bad,
No.
right? But
Hold on. The legends say I play Apex and they change based off streamers all the time. Just want to know how I can become one of them.
Very important.
yeah, see, like
Well,
that's one of the right mindsets. It's like either you say I don't want to be a part of this anymore, or you say I want to be the one with the power to change it into the direction I want. You know, and it's like yeah, fair enough. A lot of people have chosen that option too. I mean, a few people have chosen that option. Not a
yeah.
lot. A few people have chosen that option.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, comes to that, like, controlling. I see the value in it, but I guess I'd be more interested in, I should probably be like apply that to like my own game. And let's say, if I want to make a game, hey, Memphis Legend, when I make a game, you think like once you develop that streaming personality, you can like make sure you maintain an audience for your boy, so I can like properly go up against the world
I feel
and like
like
have a nice what do you call it, army against the fucking
honestly,
army.
I honestly just feel like you can do that yourself. Like,
I mean, yeah. Well, yeah, I'll do it, but I gotta get some more.
yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
get
I get what
the.
you mean. I get what you mean. But I guess like this is one of the biggest problems. Like people make a product, a video game, whatever, right? But people don't know the person behind this. So they're a fan of that product. They're not necessarily a fan of the person who made it, right?
Mm,
Like they're a fan of fucking Chun Li. They're not a fan of Akiman or a fan of, whatever, right? They're just like Chun Li. So when you get someone who can like what's the best way I can put it? Associate themselves with the thing that they like, but then they become a fan of that person, then they've kind of like hijacked your fan base. But you can make it so that that doesn't happen. Like for example, like the like Ethan Van Sciver or whatever, like him, right? Like he has a YouTube channel and he talks all the time. So his fan base is a fan of him and his creation, right?
mm,
So if someone else goes and talks about I hate Cyberfrog or something, right? They're gonna go
yeah,
to him and say, "Well, I wonder what he thinks about Cyberfrog, the guy who made it, because he talks all the time, and
yeah.
I like him." It's like you want that on your side because you can mitigate losses through that. But a lot of these like corporations, they move in extreme slow motion. They can't do they're not gonna do that. They're not going to, and that's a lot of creators. They're afraid to kind of speak and be public a bit because it's terrifying. You make one, wrong
That
statement
PR
or
statement.
whatever. Yeah, then
Mm,
someone's ready to try and hang you. But if you don't do that, someone's going to try and control your fan base because there is potential wealth in it. There's money to be made in a fan base. So they're going to want to get on that too.
yeah.
So it's like you gotta, these are all things you have to kind of realize. Um,
So, just to kind of like steer the subject matter back on topic.
yeah.
But one of the things I kind of wanted to talk about with Resident Evil 4, because like the more I looked at the trailer for the remake, the more apparent I was like, oh man, there's no way this could be like successful in my eyes. Not just like
You're okay, right?
overall, because yeah, it's gonna sell a lot and everyone's gonna buy it, blah blah blah. But I was looking at the
What happened to him?
trailer, and
Specifics on the location of
like the new Leon,
Mm,
fucking Virgin Leon
yeah.
against Chad Leon. It's like, oh man, this gonna be a fuck of a downgrade, dude. The biggest
Yeah.
thing I think, the biggest thing that's gonna suffer is going to be the dialogue. Because the dialogue, I can already see it's going to be super serious, like Resident Evil 2, which was good. But because Resident Evil 4 is so campy, we're going to lose a lot of that. And on top of the whole, the game is going to be a lot more uh, clean. Like Louis Serra, he makes a lot of misogynist advances towards Ashley. I'm like, I wonder how Louis
Oh
Serra
yeah.
is going to be.
None that's gonna exist. It's
Yeah, he's gonna be like, "Can I have
it's
your
gonna
permission to?"
it's gonna be nah. He's gonna be like approved. What me and my friend called approved spicy. It's approved levels of spicy. He's gonna probably do something kind of like I'm trying to think of something. He's gonna probably see her and he's gonna be like, hey, you're looking good today, and then she's gonna be like, buzz off,
Oh, yeah,
and
put her in
then
like the power position. He's like,
yeah,
oh,
exactly. Like he's gonna
she's a
have a
feisty
bit.
one, huh?
Yeah, yeah. They're gonna turn him into a bitch. They're gonna turn him into
Yeah.
a bitch essentially. Like uh,
I already know, like,
but
the first mod, one of the first mods are going to come available outside the Thomas the Tank Engine. Probably going to be Ballistics Ashley.
yeah,
I can't wait to see that one. That one's going to be
yeah.
tight.
I'm not really like I will say like I'm able to take a third person view. Like I don't have any attachment to Resident Evil 4. Like I've never played this game in my entire life.
Yeah.
I've watched Eris play it a million times. I've watched other people play this fucking game a million times. So I know it, but I've never played it and I don't have like an attachment to it. I feel like you don't really get an attachment to a game unless you've played it. At least that's me.
Yeah.
You know.
As far as, like, attachment, I wouldn't say I have one because Resident Evil 4 is recent enough to not feel like it's being destroyed or moved. Drew, thank you for the raid, man. Raid of 5?
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, man. Start talking some mad shit. It's shit talking time. Marcus, Devil May Cry, thank you for the follow. We talking about nothing but good things. Resident Evil 4 remake is probably going to be perfect in every way. And yeah.
I mean, like,
don't be
I'll be honest. Like, uh, I think that Resident Evil 4 is probably going to be a competent, fine game. I think that they're going to take their time on this one, like they didn't do with Resident Evil 3
3.
remake,
Yeah.
right? So I think it's going to be a good game, and I think that honestly, if I played it, since I never played this one, I'd probably end up thinking, hey, yeah, this game's pretty decent. But it's like the way I felt about Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah.
It's a good game, but it's a nerfed version of Resident Evil 2. And it's like the only difference is that like it's hard to say that to someone because the gap between Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 2 remake in terms of just
Yeah. It's,
graphically is so large that it's hard for people to even like comprehend that. They're like, huh? How can that be? Right? But with Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 4 Remake, it's kind of like, well, the gameplay style is very similar.
yeah.
There's a
That's
lot
what.
of stuff that's going to be similar.
That's why I
Then
think it's
you can compare and contrast it. I feel like easier, you
yeah,
know.
that's why, like, the way I'm looking at it, it doesn't bother me that it's going to be definitely a nerfed version of Resident Evil 4. It's probably, I guess, the thing that comes to mind is the silver timeline. I hate saying that, but it's like the best way to describe a different version of the thing that you like that exists and is good.
The what timeline?
Silver timeline. That's the excuse they gave for the new Halo. But it's like, oh, the Halo TV show. Well,
Huh?
just think of it as a silver timeline. It's not
That sounds
canon.
so retarded.
It is
I'm sorry.
retarded, but that's kind of like the way I gotta look at this one because Leon's not gonna be a fucking Chad. Ashley is probably gonna be put in a power position.
A bitch.
Fuck
A
yeah,
bitch.
yeah, and Ada probably the same way. Probably gonna be saving Leon's ass even more.
Yeah.
But
Like that's the one thing that kind of will say I think is going to annoy me because it made sense like the dynamic between Ada and Leon made sense into because that's how it was into. She was supposed to be this I'm one step ahead of you, and he's like, why is she so what's up with this mysterious lady? But like in Resident Evil 4, it's supposed to be like she's still kind of one step ahead of you, but you're surprised at how far he actually gets. He's like, hey, look, I ain't that little bitch that I used to be. Like, you're not gonna just
yeah, because he's
do
a
what you fucking
totally
did,
different character. Because like
right?
with this one, it's like I think Marcus says like I don't know if I like Resident Evil 4 remake. Feels very different from the original off bat because opening seems like it's gonna be different. It looks like we're gonna be seeing Ashley actually get kidnapped and her dad asking to find her. Yeah, I think they're gonna add a whole lot more of a narrative element to it to make it seem more dramatic and serious
I think they're gonna
because
I think they're gonna add stuff and they're gonna remove shit.
well, I think they're gonna remove a lot of shit. We ain't getting
Yeah, they're gonna remove a
mercenaries.
lot of shit.
We're not gonna get mercenaries. I don't.
I think they're gonna remove parts of the game. I'm talking about like the campaign.
Oh yeah, like just like 3 and 2.
And two.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, I mean, I feel like, after you learn the lesson with Resident Evil 3 remake, I wouldn't pay $60 for that shit. I think that game is a solid 20 at best, because I'm trying just off the top of my head stuff that's probably going to be removed. The QTEs, I imagine, are going to stay, be a little bit more dramatic, not in a better way, because the QTEs in this game are damn near kind of Looney Tunes level with how often they happen, and it's not just reserved for cutscenes.
I don't think people can handle. You know what's funny? I don't think people could today, day and age, could handle Resident Evil 4 QTEs.
No.
I think they would find them too hard.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying they're going to be pared back a lot or reserved strictly in cutscenes. And I think if there's one thing that might bother me, it won't. But if there's one thing that might bother me, is seeing how Leon responds to his situation. And one thing, I think the Ackman, he made a good video about Resident Evil 4, and he said one of the big elements that it had that I think is really going to suck for the new one, the timing that Resident Evil 4 came out back in 2005, we're going to war on terrorism. And the game had some dialogue, some commentary about, hey, is this terrorism? Leon specifically says, part in the game, he was like, hey, this isn't religion, this is terrorism. And Salazar, or whatever the fucking midget, he's like, isn't that a popular word these days? And I feel like Resident Evil 4 Remake is gonna shoehorn in some, social
bullshit.
Yeah, and I'm like,
God. I didn't even think about that.
It seems because
they're definitely gonna do that.
Yeah, because back in 05, it was more off the cuff because it wasn't that serious. Like, yeah, they talked about it because it was recent events, but it was more like, we got to have a reason, right? But here, I am like almost positive.
Oh yeah, they're definitely gonna do it.
Yeah, so that's probably gonna be the thing that's just like, okay.
Yep, it's gonna be a giant eye roll. But the thing is that like, I'm not. I wasn't ever looking forward. I never played Resident Evil 4, and I'm not interested in getting the remake either because I'm not interested in Resident Evil 4 anyway. So it's like, to me, it's just kind of like, who gives a fuck? I get that other like, people who play this game.
Oh.
Like they want to play. Like an updated version necessarily of this game. I'm not a fan of remakes.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of remakes at all. I don't get the point of remakes. I just don't get it. I guess I feel like remakes are for people who are really bothered by graphics that are
outdated or
outdated. Let's say that. Yeah, outdated. That's probably the best word to use. If graphics are outdated, they're bothered. But to me, that doesn't bother me because I think the only time graphics have ever bothered me is when I tried to play a game in a generation that I didn't play games in at all. Like I tried to play Phantasy Star 1 on the Sega Master System, and that's a 3rd gen console.
Yeah.
And I didn't really play 3rd gen consoles except for like I played the Nintendo, I played Castlevania 1 and 3 and stuff like that. But like the Sega Master System is a little rougher than the NES, and the ARPGs back then were real rough, right? So like I had never played that, so yeah, that was actually kind of like, damn, this is kind of rough, man. Can I?
Yes, it's not. It's more than just the graphics.
It was like, yeah, I mean, it was definitely more than just the graphics, but the graphics too. I was like, damn, this is kind of rough. But like, if it's a game I've played Or if I'm playing even a new game, like a game I haven't played before, but it existed in a generation where I played games, as long as the art style and it looks cool, it's like I don't know, maybe like other people can't do this, but I can take myself back to that guy who enjoyed games back then. You know, it's like I can put myself in that context. Like, oh yeah, like even this
Ow.
game, I can look at this game and be like, damn, this is a cool looking fucking game. You know, damn, that's fucked up.
Yeah. I was like, I was trying to run past him.
You
I
ain't
was like,
going
oh
nowhere.
no.
You ain't going nowhere.
It's like, where you going, bitch?
You
I
know,
guess nowhere. I'm going straight to Bluey Town. That's where I'm going.
I know, right? But
What's
yeah,
the people?
yeah. I feel like remakes are for people who care about graphics,
Yeah.
who are bothered by outdated graphics, and that's
Or too lazy to play the OG game. So it's new, and here I am.
I mean, like, I feel like that one, like, that's a little bit lesser because as long as the game is available to be played,
Yeah, but Resident Evil
like,
4 is on literally everything.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
like, so I don't think that's really it. I think it's they want eye candy. Like their motivation to play the game is based on how the game looks.
yeah.
Like if the game looked like, you know, like had super duper amazing graphics, they would download it and play it.
Mm.
But because the graphics look like graphics from the previous generation, they're not interested in playing it. I think it's really that simple.
Mm.
So, I mean, it's whatever. I know like remakes and stuff are very popular.
And to be honest, I was really expecting remakes to kind of die down at this point, and I think they have, but not nearly as much as I expected them to.
I kind of expected them to stay kind of popular because modern games kind of are trash, and so it's like,
Mm.
well, if you can't think of any good ideas from when it comes to the mainstream, right? All you can do is reach back into the past and try to make it look pretty.
Yeah.
And if you're successful at doing that, then you know. So it's kind of like they're banking on the past. It's like if you can't make anything new, you gotta remaster your past. So it's like I was like, well, until I see just a rush of like a bunch of just new, interesting titles, then it's gonna continue this way. The remakes are gonna continue to be here in abundance.
I'm gonna go listen.
Man, all these villagers want you dead.
Yeah, man, it's damn white man coming in here and trying to push his influence on these POCs.
Trying to take our. We finally was able to steal a fucking blonde hair white girl that's gonna show us her bob and the
Here he comes to ruin everything.
Yep, you coming in here just to ruin it. Like, god damn it, get him out of here. Fucking show us Bob and Eugene.
Yeah. Step right up, step right up. Oh, this is before you can knock him off the ladders. Oh.
You know one thing just like to kind of comment on something that I will say I didn't really like about Street Fighter 6 was how the it seemed like they're adopting a more like Western animation style. It's like I don't like that. Like that whole like clunky, slow, like
It
Like Killer
looks
Instinct, Mortal
it looks
Kombat.
like they put way more emphasis on they overemphasize animation.
Yeah, it's like Japanese animation has always been like
Get to the point.
yeah, yeah, they emphasize on it being quick and snappy and how does it feel to move around.
Yeah, but
Like
now it's like it takes forever to wait to get back to neutral. Like
yeah, it's like they're
Makoto's
more
dash is like 4 frames, and she
yeah,
clears like half the screen. But now it's like she's gonna dash, and you're gonna see her chest light up and her legs and hip and shit sway. I'm like, looks good, but I'm trying to fucking do something quickly.
yeah,
Doesn't
like
really
it feels
help.
like shit.
Yeah,
Like, like then that's the thing. It's like uh Western games have always been the opposite. Like they want the animation to look real, but there's a bunch of small, tiny nuances and all that stuff that you have to get right, which they usually do. But it's like it's at the expense of you being able to move the way you would like to move in a video game. You have to wait
it's kind of the
for
problem
all
I
the
had
shit
with
to be done.
That's the problem I had with five. Because whoops, five feels that's what five feels like. At the time I couldn't think of it or I didn't really understand. I was like, geez, why is it that like I'm pressing buttons but I'm not fucking moving? Using a Armika and
Yeah.
it's not fast. Everyone feels like they move the same speed, which is fucking slow. And so now looks good, but I guess that's all for the esports crowd or something, so they have something to look at. What they look at has to look cool. If it moves too fast, they won't be able to keep up with it.
Well, I think it's more for the spectator.
Well, yeah, yeah, that's one thing. The spectator, they have to see what's happening. It's not gonna make sense if something like a FADC, you're gonna be like, well, what the fuck was that? What happened? Oh,
But one thing I never, I guess like the people who, I was gonna say the people I don't understand, but I guess I do. But we just disagree on what we want out of things. But it's like they're willing to make sacrifices, and their sacrifices they believe are sacrifices. Like like yeah, you know, we gotta they gotta do this and take this out and change this and do all this stuff so that we can bring in more casuals so that the game can grow. It's like I just never understood that mindset. Like, is growth worth destruction?
well, I don't think that's something
Like,
they
is
think
it?
about. Because like when they think about like growing, it all seems it makes sense to them because it's like, oh, more people, more players, healthier game. They don't think about it, ruining the specific aspects of the game that we would value.
Well, but that's the thing. They're in the statement that they're saying it's a sacrifice that so they agree it's a sacrifice. They're not saying like, oh, who cares about that thing? That can be thrown away or whatever. They're saying, yeah, this sucks that this is being removed or changed or whatever, but it has to be done so that it can be. They're making a for the greater good argument. But in order to make that argument, you have to say that this thing is getting is something is being lost. So it's like for the greater good, but it's like that greater good, that future that you're looking for is more people being into it. But is it worth accomplishing that goal
Well,
with
that's
this
that's why
loss?
that's why I say they don't value it at that because like it's not a hard decision for them to make because it was never.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there has to be some lie somewhere. They can't have like they're saying it, but maybe they don't actually believe that it was valuable in the first place, so it is worth losing. They don't actually care about it. Because I don't understand how you can actually care about it, but at the same time, I guess you could say that one is more valuable than the other, but to me it doesn't make sense. Like the whole point is to play the fucking game. Unless the whole point is to socialize. Like it doesn't matter what the actual game is, as long as you have a reason to socialize with people. And I think that's another thing too. Like People just use fighting games to socialize. So they don't actually care about the mechanics or care about anything really, anything that makes up what it is. As long as it's fun enough to pass the time with other people.
Yeah.
Like
And it
that's
kind
it.
of leads into, I was looking at the What Happened episode of AI, and again, social aspect was a big reason as to why the game turned out the way it did. A lot of fighting games now are not as intimate as they used to be. Back then, the only thing that mattered was getting two people in here to fucking fight. But now, since online is such a big element that is focused on, especially after COVID, a lot of games have like the social network engineered into the game. Like with Street Fighter V, they got this thing where you walk around, and I'm assuming you kind of like, it kind of mimics the feeling of being able to go
I
out.
have no clue what the hell that was. Like I was like, what is this supposed to fucking be? Is this supposed to be like? And
Yeah,
that's another
cause
thing that made me think it's going to be always online. That's going to be
yep,
your
yeah, that's
like
right.
thing. It's like it's all you log in to your little profile or whatever, and you
Mhm.
have your little create a character guy avatar, and then you're in Metro City. You're like, whoa, like so this whole city is
Cause
like
that
the
that
like
whole thing
lobby,
is
and
gonna
I
be
just
like
run
no,
around and find people.
and none of that's gonna be offline. It's gonna be
Yeah,
like Mortal Kombat's Crypt. Yeah, like Mortal
but
Kombat
it's gonna be
11's
the
Crypt.
entire. It's gonna be the game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Cause
It's
like,
gonna
whereas
be
in Mortal Kombat, you can still play offline, but all they have to do is change it from something like unlocking shit to progressing through the game instead.
Well, it's gonna be the game. Like you're not even gonna be able to like in order to log. Like, have you ever played Overwatch?
Yeah, we played it together.
Oh yeah, right. So like you can't even begin to do anything into that game until you sign in, right?
Well, what
Yeah,
was it
that's
like
what I'm saying. It's gonna be like that.
BattleNet or whatever?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like you have to sign in before you can do anything. I think that's what it's gonna be like. It's gonna be like that.
yeah.
And if it's like that, you're not gonna even mod it.
Yeah, that sucks because I was at least good. Like, well, yeah,
Yes,
what about the
I know.
mods?
That exactly. And that's what a lot of people are like thinking too. Because they're like, oh well, no big deal. Like, cause like every time there is like some like, oh, like like for example, Ashley, right? We saw Ashley and we were like, oh, that kind of sucks. Kind of
Yeah,
knew that was gonna change it. We were like, who cares? It's
yeah,
gonna come out with a mod. It's gonna look fucking great. I'm gonna give her a mini skirt. Fuck it.
yeah.
It's like,
Tickle
it,
bitties. It'll be
yeah,
great.
right. Yeah, so it's like you're kind of able to be like, yeah, I guess it's not that big of a deal. But it's like with Street Fighter, we know that they hated it, and they have a very good, let's just say, excuse to be able to like put, put nip that shit in the bud, and they're going to do it, and people are going to say it's awesome until the game is out, and then they realize they can't do anything about it. But then they're going to be retroactively saying, oh well,
Yeah.
and then they might do something like this. They might do something like, I'm not saying they're going to do it, but if they do this, then if there's a large enough outcry where people are complaining, they're going to do like a official creator program, fan creator program, where it's like you can submit your like um, mod creations, and if we approve it, then people can download it for a fee, and you'll be helping out this modder. It's
The
like he was
community.
already getting paid
Like
on
Creation
Patreon.
Club.
Yeah, it's gonna be something like that.
How you gotta put their hands up like, I'll stop the bullet with my forearms.
But look at me,
Oh.
Doom sang. But oh shit, he almost hit you.
Step over there because fucking die, dude.
I know, right?
Getting all these bullets like you're a fucking mini boss.
Ouch! Ouch! Ow!
Golly, like I should have been in the face. How come a bullet to the head is not killing these guys? It was really crazy in the remake. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah,
The
and
7.
RE2 remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you better not even just shoot him in the leg, man.
Yeah.
That was
Headshot.
like one of the first things like when I was shooting him in the head. I was like, what is going on? This man has taken 9 bullets to the head and is still coming at me.
Yeah, like I know he's a dead zombie, but you know, the
Holy
brain is
shit!
still
Right,
where
like
everything works.
right. It's like holy shit. So yeah, yeah. Cut their legs off and just knife them. I will say like breakable knives in that game was like a hit and miss. I was like, okay, I kinda it's one of those things where it's like I don't like it, but at the same time I know why they did it because knives are really good in Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Mhm.
So it's like you kind of can't having a permanent knife
Just
would be
cheating.
too it would be yeah, it'd be too cheap. Like
Yeah,
it'd be way too cheap.
I felt the same way. I was like, you know, coming from Resident Evil 4, I've been spoiled. Because this guy has a knife forged by fucking Zeus.
Yeah, I know, right?
Good fight. Good flip on it. Like, yeah, okay, I know it's not fair, but goddamn, it was fun.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's one of those. I think they implemented the knife pretty damn well in RE2. You know, you can use it as a defense. Well, I mean, I guess that was in RE4 remake. You can use it as a defensive item and all that type of stuff. But like, I feel like that's probably the only remake that I've ever liked in my entire life. Is RE1 remakes. I, I don't think there's any other because it's so close to the original. It's not exact, but it's such a faithful recreation of the original
Strong ass fit.
that it's like, yeah, I know, right?
I don't know, he was like, eh, so what, bitch? I'm like, damn, it's almost too.
They don't give a fuck. It's like bullets. I eat bullets for breakfast.
It's not bullets. Probably can't even carry all these fucking. Oh, I can.
Fish.
Nice. Oh, one more. Can I get greedy?
They're probably gonna, RE4 remake. They're probably going to the Ada part where you play with Ada, there's definitely they're gonna probably like interweave that into the gameplay like more naturally than it being its own like side thing.
Yeah, they're gonna make it like the same thing as opposed to having to be its own separate
Thing.
story, because that feels like more work, and they're definitely gonna probably mitigate that by just making it one
Yeah, they're probably
campaign.
gonna have you like uh they're probably gonna have like you I don't know. They're probably gonna show the beginning, how Ashley got kidnapped or whatever, and then you're gonna play with Leon some. And then you're gonna play with Ada, and then you're gonna go back to Leon, and
That's
then
something.
whenever like something needs to be explained, why how Ada set something up, they're gonna have you do it.
Gonna be very what mellowed down, watered down,
Yeah,
so that
so
more
that
digestible.
everyone still you don't have to play it multiple times or anything.
Yeah, that's why I don't know, like little stuff too, like the fish. I don't think that's gonna be in there. I feel like they're gonna cut that too. Like,
Uh, I don't know. I think that the big things that are known about this game is like the inventory, right? The inventory system in this game, I think, is going to be there, the attache case, because that's like
I
one of
mean,
the things everyone talks about in this game. So I think picking shit up in this game is going to be one of the things they like focus on.
I think it might be either or, because I feel like, yeah, enough people like that, but certain people like that, like fans like that. But if we're gonna make a globally accessible Resident Evil, we can't expect normies to deal with all that shit. Cause yeah, when we did it, it was fun. It was annoying, but we turned it into something that it wasn't. It's like, yo, man, this fucking inventory management is a game within itself.
Yeah.
Regular fucking people, like, I don't know, man. Like, I think you're right. It's gonna be there in some form. Exactly the same, probably not. Watered down, or
Yeah, I think like it's mostly gonna be there. I think the attaché case is gonna be there, and I think that you're gonna be able to pick shit up. It's probably just gonna auto arrange for you. I think that's what it's gonna do. Like you get the attaché case, and when you pick stuff up, it's just gonna automatically put things in the best arrangement to uh to get to maximize the space, and then so you're like the whole like, oh, I'm gonna play with my attaché case so that I can like, get the best amount of room. It's like, man, that shit ain't gonna be. That's what's probably gonna be missing.
big ass dude just standing.
I know, right? Behind this fucking door,
Yeah.
it's like
So,
taller than the fucking door.
soon as fucking this foreigner walks in here, grabs it.
Carry the same blood as us, it seems.
Nevertheless,
You're an outsider. Just remember,
if you become unpleasant to our eyes, there will be severe consequences. I like this game.
What? Same blood.
Man, that's gonna suck, man. Better miss Leon's voice. Gonna sound like Ben Shapiro.
Well, like that's the great thing about remakes. The original doesn't go away. You can always play it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why it doesn't suck. So
Leon,
Yeah,
I've been able to get some
like
new
that's
info
one
that
thing
might
I
help
will
you.
say.
Fill
It's
me in.
like
Apparently,
remakes
there's a
are
religious cult group involved. They're
at
called
worst
the Los Illuminados.
they feel like
Illuminados.
disrespectful, but
That's a mouthful.
at the end of the day, it's
Anyway, I
kind
had
of
an
like you don't have to
unexpected
waste your
run-in
time
with
on
the
it.
big cheese of this
You know
village.
what I
yeah,
mean?
But you're
I
okay.
feel
I
like
feel
I'm
like
more excited.
But he could have
The,
killed
the
me.
most interesting aspect about the remake that I'm excited about are the mods.
Carrying the same blood as them.
That's probably gonna be what eventually makes me buy the game when it goes on sale for $5.
There are more important
Steam
things
sale.
than solving riddles right
the
now.
You're right.
mods. What are
Hey,
you
man,
saying?
I want to see. I want Ballistics Booty Ashley and Hunnigan.
Oh man, did they even show off Hunnigan?
Nope. Yeah, I'm really curious as to how Hunnigan's gonna be represented in this game. As a black woman, I'd hate for her to, skipped.
Uh-oh, the Street Fighter 6 roster got leaked.
What? That doesn't happen.
Like
It's like
so
7 characters. Come on, man, let's hear it. Who we getting?
um let's see. It's honestly the roster is pretty like you can guess who's on it.
And
Ryu.
Ryu,
Let's do it.
but
Ryu,
Ryu,
Ken,
Ken, Chun Li,
Zangief,
Zangief.
Dawson, Honda, Blanca,
Why you say Honda?
Guile. E
Honda.
Honda.
Yeah.
Yeah, Honda, Blanca, Guile, Chun-Li, Cammy. Okay, and this is where I guess it starts to get into like the maybe you didn't know. DJ, Rashida. Dun-dun-dun.
She.
Yeah,
Again.
Rashid, yep. Jury, Ed, Akuma, uh, you already know Luke.
Yeah. Oh no, Jake Paul. Come on now.
Uh,
On by his real
so
name.
so this says Marisa, uh, trans character.
Who?
Because
Who?
I don't know, new character, Marisa, but it's like a really big, giant, buff woman. So it's ma'am. It's ma'am.
Okay.
What does that say? Jane, Jamie. So oh yeah,
Jamie,
Jamie.
that's the one in the trailer.
Mimi. So this girl named Mimi, she kind of looks like um girl with pink hair. Uh, Riri. Uh,
These names are
it,
really intricate.
yeah.
What?
Mystery Man. His name's JP. Oh shit, that's
JP
you.
Morgan? Oh boy. Morgan and
Uh,
Morgan.
yep. Let's see. Kimberly. Oh, Kimberly. And
Oh.
Aki. So I guess this whole bottom row is new characters. So
Ow.
Aki from looks like she has the poison hand from Fang, but she doesn't look as stupid as Fang. She looks like a, you know,
Fang's daughter, brother.
no, she kind of looks like his master, I guess, because she kind of has the whole like villainous look. Like
Mm-hmm.
Kimberly is like black female ninja lady, like Zoomer ninja lady. JP looks like black Thomas
Such a
esque.
diverse cast. I
Yeah,
am so happy.
Riri looks like um Native American
Uh-oh, T-Hawk's
lady.
daughter confirmed.
Yeah, I guess. Mimi looks like um I don't know. Um I'm just gonna say I don't know on that one. You saw Jamie, and I already said Marisa is yeah, yeah, uh, yeah. It's ma'am. That's the best way I can describe it.
I got a picture
It's
of her
ma'am.
or
Yeah, yeah.
just...
I'm looking at pictures of the characters.
Oh, send me the photos. I
Yeah.
want to see, ma'am.
Cammy is wearing pants, of course.
Oh, there we go. Yes.
All the dudes have their chests out, of course.
Oh, no one gives a fuck
Uh,
about men. It's all about the women.
all the women are clothed, and all the men, except for Jury. Jury's the only one who has her top, like she has kind of like a little top thing going on. But all the
Mm.
dudes have their shit out, except for Gal, I guess. And then
He's a
in
respectable
J
family man. Can't have
in
him out there like some...
yeah, in JP, you know, but everybody else. Let me see. Hold on. Let me uh let me get the link for you. I'll
That was a quick
send
leak.
it to you.
Probably.
I'll send it to you. Here you go, pal.
Yeah, man. Let's look at these fucking leaks. Capcom character.
Blanca.
I'm curious. Blanca Bird. Oh wow. The pictures. Oh, please don't tell me that's ma'am at the bottom. No. Oh my goodness. Oh. Ow. Oh. I don't know, man. That's
Dude,
wow, dude.
it's Pride Month.
So what?
It's Pride Month. Watch what you say. Watch what you say.
Watch your fucking mouth.
Yeah, it's still fucking Pride Month, you fucking idiot.
Ah, why she got? Why her? Why your hair look like that? That is so off-putting.
Because it's a wig.
Oh man, let's show the stream. Oof.
Not a single Street Fighter 3 character. Yeah, yeah, of course not.
What the fuck? What's that? Come on, dude. Come on.
You know, it's sad. Out of all the new characters, the only one that kind of looks cool is the Poison Hand lady. Akai. Aki. She looks kind of cool. She's like a good. That's a villain. You know what I mean? Like you don't usually get a lot of villainesses now. You know, she looks cool. The rest are like, but the burger as what what's his name? DNC would say the Burger King Club. You know, it's like super diverse. Um, uh, for diversity's sake, it feels like, you know.
The
But it's
sake
cool. I mean, you
of
know,
diversity.
it's whatever. Like I said, you know, I'm not really a Street Fighter guy anyway.
Can you see it on the stream?
Nope.
How about now?
Let me wait a little bit. Nope, I don't see anything.
I just put it on display cam. Oh, that's weird. Low stream.
I can't wait to see this to pun. The pun. I can't wait to see this to pun. He's gonna laugh. It's gonna be so funny. He's gonna be like, haha, that's
My
funny.
screen black.
真的いつも出るでしょ。ダメならば、no, damn.
Oh, I see. What. I hate when like certain games don't have borderless windows.
Uh,
Like
yeah.
exit screen is like whoa, like stop it. Let's just do that for now. Wizard S Cassie, thank you for the follow. Give me a second. I'm trying to show off these brand new characters in Street Fighter 6 that definitely cool and not weird. Hey man, sorry to interrupt your stream, but you'll be interested in emotes revamping. Continue my portfolio. That's cool. Not really, man. I'm pretty good with what I got. I'm happy with my current setup. I like to keep it nice and simple. I have no interest in going partner on Twitch, so I don't really need emotes or whatever. Thank you for asking, though. Where is? Come on. Come on. Capture. There we go. Now we're cooking with grease.
Okay, yep. Now, I can see it.
You know, I like Chun-Li. All right, the top row looks pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
DJ,
I think the top row designs look fine. I think Cammy, if that was an alternate costume, would be
yeah, the
okay.
exception of Cammy and I guess that's Ed.
Uh, yeah,
Second
that's
row
Ed.
looks
Yeah,
all
that's
right.
Ed. Yeah, that's Ed next to. Yeah, that Ed design is a little,
Looks
weak.
fucking weird.
Yeah,
But outside, the rest of them,
but
besides Cammy
yeah,
and Ed, they look good.
yeah, they look good. They look good
But
as well. It's literally just the bottom row. Like they look like.
yeah, dude, what the fuck is
JP kind of looks all right, you know.
Is
And
that G?
Aki, JP and Aki, those two are. I'm like, okay,
One's Aki,
they're.
'cause they're all in Japanese. Gotta speak English.
I mean, right there, it says it in fucking English, dude. Just read. It says
Where?
Aki at the
Oh,
end.
oh, okay. Thought it was like a name. It's like acronyms.
Yeah.
Okay. Fucking this Talum bitch. Like,
Kimberly. Kimberly. Yeah, that's what it says. And that's Lily. Lily.
who's this other witch ma'am?
Yeah, but that's why I was like,
It's like we
pink
got two of
person. That's her
them.
name's her name is Mimi.
Okay, so we got the for sure ma'am, and then we got
Yeah,
Buff Karen.
yeah,
Uh, I guess this guy right here in the gold, that's Jamie.
yeah. That's Jamie.
Uh,
And uh, big boy is Marisa.
big boy or big ma'am?
Big, big. Big is Marisa and Luke. Yep.
Oh man. Uh,
Hmm.
uh, uh, whatever. I don't really have it as much as I would. Yeah. Uh, the Aki chick looks like Widowmaker.
Yeah.
It really looks cool. I think it's hard to make her not cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think out of all of the designs, Jury is probably one of the best ones. Her and probably Akuma. I think those two, they look really cool. Like
Uh,
they look like how they should look, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah.
the rest, even the rest at the top,
They
like the
look.
designs are fine, but they're just kind of like, except for Ryu, I think is fine too. But the rest of them, they're good, but they kind of look like alternate costumes. Like
Yeah, it
they're
doesn't
like,
look like
okay,
I haven't seen them in this. I feel like I've seen them
yeah,
all wear these clothes,
it's like
especially
Ken.
Dawson. Like he doesn't really change that much anyway.
Yeah, it's like Ken. Like that costume, it's not that it's bad. It's just kind of like this should be an alternate.
Doesn't even
Like
look like something he would normally wear.
it kind of looks a little like bummy. And Ken, I
Yeah,
don't know, he doesn't wear bummy clothes. That
it look
Ryu
like
wears
something
bummy
Cody would
shit.
wear. It look like some Cody clothes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree.
Uh,
Zangief, yeah, that's pretty Zangief. Yeah, that's
yeah,
fair.
he. I don't. I guess I don't really expect much from Dawson, Zangief, Honda, Blanca.
Yeah, I
I
think
will
they're all
say
pretty much fair, I guess.
I will say Guile, his looks kind of underwhelming. I mean, it doesn't look like something he would. It looks like it's something he would wear,
Right.
but I guess
I guess it's okay. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's okay. It's not terrible.
Chun looks
Um,
fine. I like Chun's Chinese dress. It's like yeah, whatever.
I I don't hate it. I just think it looks bland. That's the blandest costume she's ever like in terms of like her main costume, that's the blandest one she's ever
Yeah,
had.
it looks like well, we would have committed to the Alpha 3 costume, but no. So
It kind of to me it feels like safe for work. Like most of these other designs, okay, like besides the dudes, I mean besides the females, when you look at these dude characters, most of them look like they were able to go in as much as they wanted to go in. You
yeah,
know, like
especially Cammy. She
Dalsim
looks
looks like the yogi, and stuff. But it's like with the female designs besides Yuri
especially
and
Cammy, dude. She looks like he'd
approved
go to school or
approved.
something.
Well, it just looks like approved character design. It's not terrible. It's just okay, approved. And all of these characters are like added in by almost all of them are added in by committee.
Especially this bottom row, dude. We got two little black
That's
girls.
what I'm saying. Saying like
God,
that bottom row, this is added in by committee. I feel like only the one at the all Aki like that. She is like the only one where uh that I think they probably came up with the purple hand bitch. Like I feel like she's the only one that they that this is one they really wanted. The rest just feels like I don't know. They don't feel. They feel like they had to add them in. Ed's design looks fucking whack. DJ looks like DJ.
Yeah, I
DJ
like
looks like
DJ.
DJ. You know,
And
like
Rashid looks pretty cool too. I
yeah,
just don't
Rashid
think
looks
he is
alright.
cool. Like
I
he's a
agree.
character
He's
is
lame.
really whack. But they're
He's
making
lame.
him unless he is like a complete character's attitude change. That costume's not gonna help him. Like he looks cool now because he's not saying anything, but if he starts
Right.
talking, like
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny that you say that. Like one of my friends, he literally just sent me a message like, "Why does Ken look like a hobo?" It's like, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I just said.
yeah, this dude
Like
has money, a wife, a kid, a
wife dressed
life.
like that.
Like fucking Ryu should be dressed like that. Cause
Yeah, like exactly. Like the way he is dressed, this would be an alternate for Ryu. But like Ken would be dressed in some like, I got this shirt that makes that like allows like he'd be dressed in like what do you call that shit? Like the body armor, like, oh yeah,
yeah,
when I work out, like you know, this is the best t-shirt you should wear when you're working out. Like he you know what I mean? He'd
yeah.
be into like that like oh yeah, these pants are really good because they allow you it's like lightweight, but they're flexible and they can do all this cool shit. It's like, you know, he's interested in innovation and like new ideas, and that's what type of guy Ken is.
On
So it's
top of
like,
fighting and being in shape and all that good stuff.
yeah, it's like having him in just some regular hobo ass clothes, like just in dirty ass gloves and shit, that doesn't really fit him. He would not wear dirty, beaten up gloves. He would replace them and get
Unless,
new, nice
unless,
ones.
unless Elizabeth hit him with that Amber Heard, you know, he probably.
Oh shit, his wife fucking divorced him and took all like half his fucking money and took his daughter away, so he's depressed.
Oh
So that's
yeah,
why he's like that. Oh shit, now
it
okay, we got
all.
the lore. We
Yeah,
got the lore now.
it makes sense
Like,
now. I understand why he's
yeah,
worried.
he's like, you know, he's like, man, maybe Ryu had the right idea all along. So he's trying to emulate Ryu now. He's like, damn, I should have just been a hobo. Fuck.
Yeah, man. Fucking Elizabeth fucked me over, and you're right, man. Bros before hoes. Fuck these bitches.
Yeah,
Took my
damn,
daughter and all that shit.
damn, man. Ryu literally is bros before hoes, man. He still got the red headband that Ken gave him all the way back then. He's still wearing that shit.
Yeah,
Damn, bros before
Kyrie.
hoes, man. But yeah, like I mean, this it's just kind of it's just like just looking at this roster kind of reminds me of Mortal Kombat 11, where it's just like you look at the
Yep.
male characters and you're like, okay, yeah, they kind of actually look cool, and then you look at the female characters and you're like, designed by committee.
Yeah. Oops.
You can't. You just can't go. There's a certain distance you can go, and that's it. You know, a certain distance you can go.
All right.
Uh,
Get back to
oh yeah,
RE4. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it could have been worse. At least it's fucked up mostly the new characters, not necessarily, not too many other new characters. Because I think out of the old characters, only two of them got shat on pretty bad. Ken and Cammy. Everybody else just seems like, yeah, at worst, meh. Uh, 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 uh. Oh, wow, wow. Kick a bitch in the face. Woo. Throwing shit at me. Ow! Mother sucker. Kick! Taking on too many of my bullets. Wow. Yeah, mackerel. Do that, Taylor?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I'm reading a few things. Path those. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh shit, I'm not looking for the blue medallions. Remember if there's one up here. Well, eh. I do think,
I'm not. I'm not really like a big Resident Evil. I mean, not Resident Evil. Big Street Fighter guy at all. So I kind of don't care.
yeah,
Feels good to not be attached. Like I'm not attached to it. So to me, it's just kind of like, if I was attached to it, I probably would think this really fucking blows. But I don't really care that much.
yeah. As long as Makoto does not show up.
I will say, it doesn't motivate me to want to get the game. That's for sure. I'm not excited.
Game's not for us, remember?
Yeah, exactly. It's for another audience. So that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you are able to mod Street Fighter 6, I can't wait for someone to mod in the LTG commentary mod.
LTG. Oh.
You should kill yourself now. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's gonna be sick, dude. Like, I will watch someone do that shit. That would be funny.
Yeah. See that? See his last video? He was talking about Ernesto and Red Rapper talking shit about him.
No.
But yeah, the guy who does the YouTube channel, Button Check, was talking to someone else about the FGC, and the guy he was talking to is Zed. I think that's how you say his name, Zed, the Red Rapper, Tabani. And I haven't heard that dude's name in so fucking long. He was the guy, I don't know if you remember, but he did the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 epic rap battle. Or he wrote it, rather. He wrote that rap, and he did the rap for the, I think it was the 2012 Evo. 2012 Evo announcement lineup for Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I don't know if you remember that, but
I don't.
yeah, it was that guy. I was like, oh yeah, so what the fuck is he talking about? He was throwing shade at LTG, and LTG was like, bro, I'm not even fucking in the fucking FGC anymore, and you guys don't keep my fucking name out of your mouth. Because I haven't been involved with this shit in forever, but everyone knows that when it comes to Street Fighter, I'm always gonna be the guy. I'm always gonna be the one of the main names that come up with Street Fighter, because that's just how I roll. Like, and it's so much so the case, you guys can't even stop fucking talking about me. So yeah, get fucked, you irrelevant, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh yeah, he's got a point.
I mean, like that's the thing. It's like, if you want clout within the FGC, an easy way to get some clout is to go beat up like, oh look, I beat FGC. I mean, I beat LTG in this game. Look, I beat them.
Yeah.
And then it's like, everyone's like, yeah, good job, man. You beat the first tutorial boss. Nice. And then you're like, yeah. They're like, yeah, I can tell you're really serious about playing this game now.
Yeah, and accept it, because you beat the bully.
Yeah, you beat the bully. We all beat up. Pretty funny.
Man, I'm hungry. I might go out and get I wonder how they're gonna treat Treasure. I wonder if they're gonna treat it the same.
Like, I will say that I don't think they're going to you know, that's the best way I can put it. I think Resident Evil 4 Remake is going to be a fine game. I just think that if you played the original, you're going to say, yeah, but this doesn't beat the original. The
Well,
original is better because it's just going to be a
yeah,
watered down version of the original, right? You know?
yeah. 'Cause,
And I
like,
think they're not going to rush it like they did 3. That's why 3 was shit because they rushed it, you know? I mean, there were things about it that were going to be shit regardless if they rushed it or not. Like Jill was going to be a bitch. That didn't matter whether they rushed it. That was just going to be the way they were going to characterize her and stuff. But like the game could have still been a game where you at least said, well, you know, at least the game was good. But it's like the game sucked too. It's like, jeez, you know, like
I just
so I
fucking
think,
speed ran this game.
yeah,
Something that might interest you.
Something that might interest you. Yeah, boy. Can't wait to see my boy. Because we know for sure that he's gonna be in fucking merchant. They acknowledged him in a.
yeah, like that's what I
Hey,
mean. Like all the stuff
What are
that
you
like
selling?
everyone knows about Resident Evil, even though you haven't played the game, like Resident Evil 4, it's gonna be in there. The merchant, the attaché case, Leon wearing the
Is
fucking
that
coat.
all?
You know, like
Thank
it's like
you.
Ada Wong,
Ah.
Salazar. You
Thank
know,
you.
like
I'm curious how they're gonna do Salazar. I feel like he was more for the lulz in the original, and I think they
yeah,
were gonna like make him serious. I'm like, you can't
yeah.
because he
They
is.
they probably are going to try and make him serious, which is going to be kind of like cringe a little, because it's like, dude, like you Resident Evil 4 should not be taken seriously in the first fucking place.
Yeah, that's gonna be the first
Like that was
Well,
my
era.
gripe with the game when it first came out anyway. I was like,
what are
it
you
was like,
selling?
what's the best way I can put it? It's like if the room was in on it being hokey. It's like I
Yeah,
don't like that. It's
Thank
like
you.
no, it's the room is good when they think they're
Thank you.
doing something serious
Come back
and they end up being
anytime.
funny. That's what Resident Evil kind of was. It was like they're taking it seriously, but there are parts where you're just like, okay, that was kind of funny, or the voice acting there was kind of stupid, or whatever, you know? But it's like Resident Evil 4 is self-aware, and it's a good game, so it got away with it, right? You
yeah,
know? But it's like, me personally, even back then, I was just kind of like it's a little like,
two on the
wink.
nose.
Yeah, I don't like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's like it's because then right at that point you can't replicate it anymore because you're aware of your mistakes, and because and because you're aware of the mistake, you're very unlikely to want to move in that same type of direction because now you see it as, oh, that's not good, right? So you're gonna try to not move in that direction, and then you're gonna try to like, and I think that's why we end up getting like Resident Evil 5 and 6. It's like where it was like,
It's like
this
Resident
is
Evil 4 inadvertently fucked the series up to where it's like, well,
yeah,
you not only did you create a crossroad, you created a crossroad with barracks blocking the way.
yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do?
I guess there's no way you could avoid it. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, I just remember being like, damn. And then everyone loved it, right? Like everyone loved Resident Evil 4, so I was just like, well, maybe I'll like 5. You know, like that was my thing. I was like, well, 5 has the characters I give a fuck about. Oh, it doesn't because Jill's dead. Well, still, I guess I'll care about it because I don't really care about Chris. So I was like, oh. I
Yeah.
just put up with Chris. It's like, but okay, I guess his Sheva looks cool, I guess. And that game's fine, but it's not fine at the same time.
Yeah, I don't like 5. 5 gave me the best game mode I could ever ask for. But outside of that, the game itself didn't too
Yeah.
much care for it.
I think I had more fun watching you play 5
Yeah.
because I was like, I can't wait for this stupid fucking part where this is gonna come. It's like, oh man. It's like when you're watching someone else play it, or you're playing it with someone else, it becomes funner because it's like you're able to like kind of just sit back and be like, yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah. How you about to do a backflip? Lord Sadler. There it goes. Never hit the damn. Been a while since I've done this puzzle, so that's my memory. M. That one. Z. Nothing. Okay, MCV. Okay.
Leon, have you reached the church yet?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, sort of.
Leon, did I mention not to take the scenic route? At any rate, Ashley's probably inside that structure. Rescue her, hurry!
Yeah. Sort of. Whoa.
Oh, well, I think it's about that time for me. It's midnight here, so let's
Alrighty.
go ahead and wrap it up. But it was fun talking with you about these leaks.
Oh yeah. Thanks for swinging by. I'll probably wrap it up here soon. It's 2 in the morning. I got a appointment. Rather not miss.
Yeah, you don't want to do that, man. 'Cause then you gotta schedule another one all the way in the fucking future. So
Yeah.
we'll just make sure you meet the appointment you got now. So, well, all right, man. I'll catch you later.
Alright, man. Take it easy.
Yep.
As for the rest of you guys, I think I'll call it on it. Well, let me go save it first. After, of course, take out the trash. Fuck you. Oh shit. A blue medallion down there. Almost missed it. Go back. Back. Back and save. I'm gonna download that HD remake mod. Exactly what all they changed in the game. I am slightly curious. Alright everybody. That's be the stream for tonight. Thank you for swinging by, even though it was pretty late. This is your Immortal Afro Josh, and you're watching Immortal Afro Gaming, where we, of course, will make gaming niche once again. Look forward to the next video I have coming down through the pipeline. Gonna probably make another one on Sonic and another short one about the reveal of Resident Evil 4 Remake, as well the review for Forgive Me Father. So folks, that'll be all. See you next time. Peace.